Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy Ironmans here, and today, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been not really doing much today, but my roommate Tony, shout out to you by the way, said he watched this video earlier, and he said that I should do a reaction to this, and he said that it's gonna be insane and that he wants to see my reaction, so I figured I would go ahead and make a video about it. I do know that Cleveland beat Brooklyn the other night. Collin Sexton, you are a demon, by the way. So let's get right into this video. I don't want to waste any more time, so let's see what they got for me.
Shannon, what did you learn in last night's debut of the Nets' Big Three?
I learned what I knew to be true all along. Although they're going to be outstanding offense, defense is going to be their problem. And they're a very small team with now that they got Kyrie back, because the majority of the game, Jeff Green was playing the 5 spot. And Skip, that's going to be a problem. And I told you, I said, Skip, what they're doing is that they're going to need to score somewhere between 120 and 140 in order to win these games, because they don't play any defense. They play no defense. A lot of standing around. And when they got rid of Allen, when they got rid of Taurean Prince, those were they're really good on-ball defenders. Now, if you want to talk about deflections and you want to talk about all this, that's fine and good. All I know is this. You got almost 100 points from 3 guys. You got 20 rebounds. You got 20 assists. And you lost the game. Because why? You gave up 20 points in one overtime. In a 5-minute overtime, you gave up 20 points in one of them. Now, I don't know if people know this at home, ladies and gentlemen. The Cleveland Cavaliers are the worst offensive team in all of basketball. And they just got 147. Now, their offensive rating last night was 122. The highest offensive rating in NBA history. The Dallas Mavericks had it last year at 116. But Skip Bayless is going to come out here and tell you they can play defense. No, they can't. You see what Collin Sexton did to Kyrie? Kyrie came back and got 38. But the other guy got 42. Now, Kevin Love and Garland didn't even play.
Sad.
One of the UFC's most notorious athletes returns to the
Skip, I watched them closely. I don't see a whole lot of sets. I see a whole lot of one-on-one, and then they try to break you down, and when you come to help, I kick the ball. This style of play works really, really well if guys are knocking down shots. Skip, we've seen this. We've seen it in Phoenix. We've seen it in Houston. But when they load up on you come playoff time, it's going to be very, very interesting. They're gonna need to get some bench. Their bench was awful last night. Joe Harris couldn't make any shots. But Skip, I mean, you got guys playing, KD playing 50 minutes, James Harden playing 50, Kyrie playing almost 49. And then you got Joe Harris off the bench playing 41. And then your other 3 guys play 11, 10, 7. Defense is going to be an issue for them. They're going to need to get this resolved, Skip. Because think about this. Before I turn it over to you, Andre Drummond didn't really post because he's really not the great post player. Jared Allen, he's really not a post. I'm talking about offensive player. They're post, they're bigs, but not offense. Play with the back. Ooh, I get you. But I don't know if you noticed last night. Did you see that big guy in Philly? He's going to punish somebody. He ain't gonna punish somebody.
I mean, the guy I keep telling you is the best big man in basketball by far, not even close, and you keep saying no, no, no.
Yo,
now you're on his bandwagon.
No, Skip. I did not. Hold on, Thomas. How do you take me saying the guy in Philly is a load and they don't have anybody to deal with him? You saw what he did last night. This is the second time he's been over 40 with double-digit rebounds. 40 points, double-digit rebounds. I'm saying because they're so small, and they don't have a true post presence to defend someone like that, that could be a problem. That's what I'm saying. Defense is going to be a problem. Offensively, they're set. But defense, James Harden only got 2 shots in the first half. I don't know he happy about that. I don't know he happy about that.
I didn't watch this game, guys. So this is somewhat news to me.
I got it.
I'm gonna stop there first. When I saw the final score of the game, I'm going to be honest with you. I said it in my last video. They don't have any defense. They got rid of all their bench, all their assets, all their defense, everything, just to get another guy that also doesn't play defense on top of the 2 superstars that they already have that don't play defense. Say what you want about Kevin Durant, but he's not that good of a defender. He's just 7 foot. They are very small. Kevin Durant's their tallest player. Kevin Durant's, what, 6'11", 7 foot? Nobody fucking knows. But if it was me, I would have Kevin Durant play the center. But even then, he's still soft and small. So no championship teams give up 147 points. I have not seen a championship team in the last decade, at least, that has been a bottom-tier team in the NBA in defense. And to me, this is a big reason why I just didn't see this working out in the first place. You have all the offense, but if you can't guard anybody and you're giving up as many points as you're putting up, you're never going to win the game. I'm putting that out there. Let's see what Wildman has to say about this.
Get a new TV because I saw an upside-down game from what you saw.
Okay,
I have no idea what game you are talking about.
Okay.
I saw the new greatest show on earth. This is must-see TV. This is hashtag nothing but nets. I saw an offensive tour de force, and I saw a head coach in Steve Nash, never been a head coach before, who just said, you know what? Let's turn this into one long cardio scrimmage. I'm going to play my new big three in Kyrie's debut. A career-high Kevin Durant, 50 minutes. A career high for James Harden, 51 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to play Kyrie Irving 48 minutes and 22 seconds after he has been out for 7 games and was worried about his cardio coming back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how many minutes I'm going to play those guys, and I'm going to play them all 3 because they just need reps.
You're right. And you wanted to win that game.
It was against a team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are, they're the worst statistical offensive team in basketball. What did they do last night from the three-point line? They made 20 out of 40. Why did they do that? Because they were inspired, because 2 of their newest players used to be Brooklyn Nets. Am I right? Yeah. Did you see what Jared Allen did last night? He had 12 points and 11 rebounds off the bench. Did you see what Taurean Prince did for the Cavaliers last night? Inspired, 17 points and 7 rebounds off the bench.
Maybe it's because the other team doesn't play fucking
Did
defense.
You see what Collin Sexton did? He went into the twilight zone of 3-point shooting in ways I have rarely seen. This was Klay Thompson-esque what he did.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys paid attention to Collin Sexton when he was in college. He went to Alabama. There was one specific game Collin Sexton played in college. They had over half their team fouled out and or got hurt to the point where they only had 3 players to play with. 3. Collin Sexton was one of the dudes that played. Collin Sexton was being triple teamed the entire game and still somehow dropped over 40 points, and they almost won the game. Collin Sexton is capable of putting up these kind of numbers. Collin Sexton is a very good player that doesn't get enough recognition for the stuff that he does just because he's on a very shitty team. So for him to say that this is like Twilight news, no, it's not. Collin Sexton has been doing this for a while. It just doesn't go noticed because his team never fucking wins. And talking about how these guys need reps, basketball is a 2-part game. You play offense, you play defense. You can't just do one and expect to win on both sides of the ball. So this is a load of shit.
Especially in the second overtime. So to your final point, I will go at first. That is that James Harden, clearly, he is an offensive genius. He said, welcome back, Kyrie. I'm going to extend you an olive branch in the first half. I'm not going to shoot it. James didn't take his shot until there was like a minute left in the first half because he said, Kyrie, you do it. Okay. And guess what? They came out and made their first 10 shots. And Kyrie was out of his mind in the first half and made 8 out of 10 shots. Right. That'll work. Right. So you had James just saying, Kyrie, you do this because we need you to be more of the 2 than the 1. So I'll be the point guard. I'll initiate the offense, but you score the basketball, which he did at the highest level. So Kyrie didn't miss a beat. All that time off that he had, and everybody was all over him, he came right back, and he looked like Kyrie Irving. And he blended right in. Mm-hmm. And then in the second half, James
Enough
said,
to lose
you know
the
what?
game.
Maybe I should start shooting.
Noted.
And he began to shoot, and all he did was wind up with a triple-double. Mm-hmm. James Harden is leading the league in assists, and he had 12 more last night. Is that good? Yeah. I'd say that's pretty good. He scored 21 without even shooting in the first half. Is that good?
Yeah.
That is sensationally good.
I just want to note that last year when LeBron led the league in assists, this man did not say a beat about it. Did not give him any sort of credit. But the second anybody else besides LeBron James does it, that's pretty damn good. I got nothing to say. Go.
Okay, now let's go to the end of regulation, shall we?
Yeah, we should.
Because Kyrie Irving, listen, they are on a tear. They are charging to the finish line because they got sick and tired of Cleveland playing way over its head, making three-point shots, and they said, watch this. They close the fourth quarter on a 28-15 run at Cleveland. Is that good? That is great. It was firepower. It was greatest show on earth, tour de force. And it comes down to Kyrie got the basketball at the end, and he drives it up the floor on one Collin Sexton. If we could see this play, please. And I immediately tweeted, here's the ball. They force a turnover. And here comes Kyrie. James just said, you do it. You're the last shot taker. And he drives right past Collin Sexton. And the referee calls an offensive foul. And I immediately tweeted, you can check my timeline. I said, that is completely wrong. Collin Sexton leans into him, hacks him across the leg, and somehow because Kyrie's elbow hit Collin Sexton in the jaw because he leaned right in front of it, Kyrie didn't extend his elbow. They called an offensive foul and screwed Kyrie out of going to the free throw line with 2 attempts to make one to win the game.
Ball anyway.
No, well, but it's a foul. He slapped him across the front of his body and across his leg. And guess what they did? They go review it. And they say, whoops, we screwed up. We reversed the call. Well, guess what? When you reverse a call at the end of the game like that, guess what the result is? A jump ball.
Yeah.
You're still punished. You're still penalized. You should be at the free. If you're going to reverse the call, give Kyrie the free throws to win the game. And we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. It's a stupid rule. You know it, and I know it.
It's the rules, Skip.
Okay?
I just want to say if that was LeBron on Kyrie's end,
What about the fact
he would not be for this.
System in?
Okay, but I'm just saying it was a blown call. It was wrong, and I tweeted it, and I was right about it.
Baby LeBron.
Okay, so then we go to the end of the first overtime, and they're up 3. They played a great first overtime. It was
Jumped out on them.
Yeah,
and
they
Cleveland
jumped right
walked them down.
Well, they walked them down because Cleveland was shooting out of its mind. When I'm looking up at Larry Nance making 3-point
You
shots.
making my point, Skip?
Because
Look
they
at
don't play
this first
defense.
overtime. It's tour de force's scoring, so
They
should
do
have
not
won
play
it.
defense.
But what does Steve Nash do as a first-time head coach down the stretch of this
Yes.
game? Last few seconds, Collin Sexton had the ball. You just foul because you can foul him and with literally no time left on the clock. Just foul him. Just go ahead and foul him before he goes into shooting mode. If you foul him and Kyrie's on him and Kyrie defended it very well, Collin Sexton just made a ridiculous shot to tie the game and send it to the second overtime. Well, he literally wore out Kyrie in the second overtime because Kyrie's playing 48 minutes and he hasn't played in 7 games. And I'm saying,
Whose
Steve,
fault is that?
Look, if you know, do you know Bruce Brown? I keep raving about him. He is their designated defender. He is 6 feet 4 inches tall, out of the University of Miami, and again, he should have been on Collin Sexton for portions of each of the overtime. Let Kyrie have a break. But Steve Nash is just trying to get the big 3 in rhythm in a close game, just so they can figure each other out. But Kyrie's legs had to be dead. He hasn't played in what's it been? Going on 3 weeks?
But you're making my point. You keep telling me you do realize that the Cleveland Cavaliers got up 109 shots. They made 56 of them. That's 51.4%. They got up 43s. They made 20. That's 50%. You're making my point about the defensive end, Skip.
Right, but
you keep talking about offense. You won't mention
the game. They locked them up and locked them
When?
down the stretch of the fourth quarter. I just told you.
There is no fucking chance that he just said they defended them really well. Number one, they hit 23s. They gave up 147 points to the worst offensive team in the NBA. Does that look like good defense to you? Be honest with me. Giving up 147 points and losing. That's fantastic defense. My job when I want to be older, I want to be a basketball coach, right? I'm going to tell my kids in a high school basketball game, I'd say 85 to 90 is a really good amount for a high school basketball game. My high school basketball team only made that or got to that point maybe once or twice per season. And we were pretty good, by the way. I'm going to coach a basketball team that's what I want to do, like as a side job when I'm older. I'm going to tell my kids if they give up 90 to 100 points and lose the game, I'm going to tell them they played very good defense. And I was just trying to get them in a flow. That gets you fired in a lot of other jobs, by the way. God damn it. This is whack.
28 to 15, and they got screwed on the last call, or the game's over. I'm sorry, it's over.
They scored.
It should have been over. They should have won it easily.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but it wasn't.
By saying that's enough. You can't ask those. What have you been telling me about James Harden? He's fat. Well, how did he play 50 minutes last night? He must have lost 15 pounds last night.
Skip, you keep telling me that they locked him up. But they had 62 points in the second half. They scored after you jumped out to a 6-7 point lead in the first overtime, they walked you down. And then they scored 20 in the second overtime. You keep talking about offense. You keep talking
20 in
about
5 minutes. In 5 minutes, they scored 20 points.
The other team scored 147 points.
Guess what they scored?
Let him know. Tell him.
26. Guess what they scored in the second half of the fourth quarter? 15.
Doesn't matter.
Okay? So my point to you is they locked them up in the fourth quarter. They said that's enough of you. They were no good in the fourth quarter. They were average in the fourth quarter. They were the Cavaliers in the fourth quarter, and 35 from Brooklyn should have won it if they get the call at the end of the game. It shouldn't have gone to overtime.
Let me ask you a question, Skip. Okay, well, how many points did you score in the first
That's not
quarter?
how basketball
Since
works.
26 is so bad in the fourth, you scored 23. And guess what?
You also got to say Kyrie's got to make the 2 free throws.
They made their first
Gotta
10
make 'em
shots
both.
of the game.
You guys did.
Of the game.
Your guys did.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And you still only had 49 points at the half. And you made your first 10 shots and you only had 49. And guess what? The Cavaliers was in front of you at halftime. Because why? All you keep talking about, they look great offensively. I told you the problem that I see them having is defensively. You can't allow the worst offensive basketball team to go get 147.
Kevin Durant last night had 4 blocks. 4 blocks. He can defend at the highest level. And by the way,
4
you never
blocks.
mentioned DeAndre Jordan. He's going to play a
He's
lot
fucking
of
7 feet
minutes.
tall. I would hope he had 4 blocks.
The man had 24 minutes.
Okay, he made 6 out of 7 shots. He can still rim protect, but I know what Steve Nash was thinking. Joe Harris is really good. He's the former, obviously, 3-point shooting champion, and he's had a tremendous year. So he said, you know what, I'll go smaller against them because I got to give Joe some run for his ego purposes. Just to reward him for all that he's done so far this year. So he played him.
I didn't know
41
you
minutes,
were
and Joe
Steve
Harris
Nash. I didn't know
was
you knew
cold.
exactly what he was
shot 2 of
thinking.
10 from the floor. And
Maybe
2
you
of
should go
7
coach.
from 3. That's not the usual Joe Harris.
Not like you
He's
have much of
little
an
out of
like a
sync
responsibility
because he lost
anyway
his starting
in the
job
NBA.
back to Kyrie plus James Harris.
He's gonna be out of sync. You know why? Because the touches come few and far between now. You got 3 guys. He might go 5-6 minutes and never touch the ball. Shooters need a rhythm. So guess what we saw? All I see Kyrie go 1-on-1. If he ain't got nothing, he'll kick it, somebody open. I see KD go 1-on-1. He ain't got nothing, he kick it, somebody open. I see James Harden. I didn't see no sets. I didn't see somebody come down.
I saw a bunch of sets.
Okay.
Okay, the difference between this big 3 and all the other big 3s I've seen in the last 10 years, the Miami big 3 with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, they complemented each other. They really did. Even though the play styles of LeBron James and Dwayne Wade did not work, they still found a way to make it work. It was no iso ball. They ran sets. Chris Bosh took a back seat. He went from being over a 23 or 24 point per game scorer to being like 15 to 16 and getting 10 rebounds and being a spot up to LeBron and Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade took a back seat to LeBron. His career is obviously declining because he was injured, but LeBron, this is your team. You do your thing and we'll follow you. The Golden State Warriors. Kevin Durant could play without the ball. Kevin Durant can play without the ball. There is no saying, nobody said he needs the ball in his hand to be effective. Steph and Clay complement each other. They made life easy for KD because they were such good shooters. And they just ran off screen after screen. And it's just easy. That worked. It blended together. It made sense. This one, like he just said, Kyrie gets the ball. ISO, 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 ISO. Nothing. I'm going to kick it to the next. All right, ISO, 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 ISO with James Harden. Nothing. All right, throw it to KD, shoot a three. Or ISO, ISO, ISO. Throw it back, and they just keep going and keep going. There is no movement to it. It's just one-on-one. They might as well be playing 1-on-5 out there. It doesn't blend. Two of them need the ball. James Harden, whether he gets 10 assists or not, he needs the basketball to be effective. Kyrie is not really a pass-first guy. He is a score-first guy. I'm going to ISO, and I'm going to take either a step-back shot or I'm going to the rim. Because I'll give credit where credit's due. Kyrie is one of the best finishers in the game when it comes to being that small. They don't blend together. They can put up 135 points, but like I said, if they're giving up more than they're putting up, you're going to lose the game. At the end of the day, you want to know how you win a basketball game? You score more points than the other team. You want to know how you stop them? Play fucking defense.
I saw a lot of picks, a lot of rolls. I saw a lot. I saw James Harden, Chris Broussard on this show was right about this. He called it from the top. That is, James Harden is the point guard, Kyrie is the 2, and Kevin just plays 3, 4, and a lot of 5. And when they go small, Kevin just plays center.
Well, so guess what Shannon Sharp said? Tell him that Shannon Sharp said the problem that he sees with this team is going to be what? Defense. And what was the problem last night? Because remember now, they had to fight for their life just the other day against Orlando. They had to fight for their life, Orlando.
Kyrie wasn't even there. And he's a shitty defender.
For 32 and 14. And I told you, somebody that has a big that can punish them, there's going to be a problem. They don't defend. Now, you can do all this about deflections and all this, but at some point in time...
Wait, James Harden last year led the league in steals?
See?
Steals?
So now we look at... So how many times have we...
That's having good instincts
James
for the
Harden
ball
is
and
like,
gambling for it.
How many times has somebody...
I said it all last year.
Oh, my goodness.
He was 3rd in recovering loose balls, 6th in deflections. He played
That's having good
his
instincts
tail
for the
off
ball.
on defense last year. Sorry. He does.
Skill.
Kyrie will play it, as Kyrie said after the game, the tale will be told by how we play on the defensive end. That is correct.
I look at it like this, what James Harden did. That's like a defensive lineman. I like the defense. You get up, he deflected 7 balls. Give me 7 sacks. Instead of deflecting 7 balls.
Okay.
Ain't nobody, they don't have anybody that can sit in the chair and guard somebody on the perimeter.
Bruce Brown. Yeah, I've been saying it. It's like me saying little Scotty Miller the whole offseason. And then all of a sudden you're saying, ooh, little Scotty Miller can play. Bruce Brown can play. He is their designated defender. They will utilize him more and more against the Collin Sextons of the world.
Bruce Brown, Larry Brown, they're in trouble on the defensive end.
Nope. And they will add at the trade deadline. They got 3 open spots
Skip,
right now.
Skip,
They'll just get designated.
Skip, I'm talking about right now. Let's talk about right now. You're talking like hold on. You make
It's
it
a long season.
You make it seem like they're going to be the only one to add. You're going to act like they're going to be the only one to add something.
Last night was their first.
They don't really have the
time
space to be
around.
adding
It was
anybody
a
good
get
unless
in
someone is
shape
willing to
game.
take a
They got
massive
in
pay
shape
cut.
last
Hold on.
night.
What
Their
did
3
KD
players
do to
alone
take
take out
for
more
him that whole
salary
year?
than some of these whole NBA teams have. Let that be noted.
It's been almost 2 years.
Well, I'm just saying, you got to play your way into shape.
The team that they have built in Brooklyn is gone just to get James
I'm
Harden.
not talking about
How
you
do you
said
go
KD. You said KD. Let's talk about KD one at a time.
Yeah.
KD had this surgery. He had surgery in June of 2019.
Yeah, he's still playing his
It's
legs.
2021.
Yeah, he took a year and a half off.
Yes.
Didn't play any basketball. Wow.
So he ain't been doing nothing. He's just been sitting around.
He's looking like the MVP, but other
Okay.
than that. Yeah.
So, but hold on. But he needs to play in shape. So how you out of shape and look like the MVP?
Well, you're trying to get the rhythm together, but you told me James Harden is fat. What'd you tell me? He's at least 15 pounds
I
overweight?
still believe he's overweight.
Okay, well, how do you play 15 minutes
Still
overweight?
believe he's
That's
overweight.
impossible.
James Harden game is he's not he doesn't play a Russell Westbrook type of a ball game where he's frenetic and all over the place. He doesn't burn excess energy. He's not going from point A to point B. James Harden is very, very methodical about how he does things. James Harden is great. I'm not saying it on the offensive end. I said their problem is, you're trying to make it about, I said defensively, 147 points says they got a problem when the worst offensive team in basketball gets 147.
Collin Sexton scored 15 in the second overtime. How often do you see a guy score 15 in one overtime?
And let me ask you a question. What does that tell you? If a guy goes get 15 in one
that he was out of his mind, that's what it tells you.
Ain't nobody gonna defend him.
Yeah.
What about KD? What about the best player on the planet?
You're still playing your big three up to 50 minutes apiece in a second overtime, in which obviously their legs were gone.
What happened when my guy see a guy going off like that? What my guy do?
You go check
my
him.
Guy say, I got this. And dump a bucket of cold water on him.
Wait, your guy's playing a career low, what is it, 32 minutes a game?
Yes.
Think about this, world.
He's
LeBron James
36.
averages 32 minutes a game. James Harden last night played 50 minutes fat. Just remember.
Okay, with James, I want to see how many minutes James Harden is playing in year 18. That's all I want to see.
Okay. With that being said, that's going to conclude the video. This is absolutely insane to me. I just don't understand how you could be so blinded by your best player on the planet, by the way, in KD, who has two of the other best offensive players, but they have no defense. It's sickening. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. They have no defense. They're not going to win unless they do something about their defense, and that includes some of their players getting their egos out of their asses and doing something, getting in a stance and playing defense. Collin Sexton, you're a demon. Not much else to be said. Nobody on that team can guard you. Nobody on that team can guard anybody, actually. So maybe I can go out there and score. But with that being said, that's going to conclude the rest of the video. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell. That way you know every time I decide to post any sort of new content. This is iRyman saying peace out.